Welcome to Spoiler Alert, everyone. I'm Mia V, and we are at episode 5 already. Last week, all the new releases and reviews had something to do with the 80s, and this week, our underlying theme is music. Quite fitting. Let's check them out. In the movie documentary section, the latest release we're talking about is Shawn Mendes in Wonder. The unguarded documentary was filmed over the course of one of his world tours. It depicts Mendes as a clean-cut, generous, humble musician who's worked hard to find success. He demonstrates perseverance and talks about setting aside ego, keeping gratitude front of mind, and focusing on positivity and living with anxiety. For fans of Mendes, this documentary will make you love him even more. It's clear that this was made especially for the fans. On a side note, if you haven't seen it yet, you have to check out Miss Americana, the Taylor Swift documentary, also on Netflix. Even if you're not a fan of her music, you will regard her in a new light and gain a new respect for her as a young female musician growing up in the spotlight. I know I did. She's also released Folklore, the Long Pond studio sessions on Disney+, where she performs all of the songs from her new award-winning album Folklore, which was created and recorded during lockdown, with a behind-the-scenes intimate look at her process during this past year. A wonderful and beautiful look into her music. This week's TV show spotlight is Selena, the series. It's the latest account of the legendary superstar's life and eventual death in 1995. She was murdered in a motel in her hometown of Corpus Christi, Texas, by Yolanda Saldivar, her fan club's president. Her family worked with creator and executive producer Moises Zamora to develop the series. It's split into 2 parts, each part consisting of 6 episodes, which are an hour long. Its release comes 20 years after the movie of the same title was released, in which Jennifer Lopez got her acting debut breakthrough. However, unlike the movie of that time, expect to get a much more in-depth look into the lives of Selena and her family, which was missing in the film due to its brevity. From the very first scene in this new series, Christian Serratos is stunning in the role, but the other roles of her family are explored beautifully by a wonderful supporting cast. Our book of the week is Dolly Parton, Songteller. For many, Dolly Parton is synonymous with her full-busted figure and big blonde hair. But what many don't know is that this country singer is first and foremost a prolific songwriter who has composed over 3,000 songs throughout her career. Songwriter, singer, actress, producer, and philanthropist, and now she's turned to the written word. This one takes us through a selection of her favorite songs as signposts of her life and career, the inspiration behind them, and what they mean to her. From Jolene to Coat of Many Colors to I Will Always Love You, the highest grossing single of all time, this book is best read while listening to the songs themselves. And if you weren't a fan of hers before this, you will definitely become an admirer, if nothing else. Which brings us to a series on Netflix based on Dolly Parton's songs called Heartstrings. Each episode is a movie of the week story based on 8 songs penned by Dolly, including Jolene, 2 Doors Down, Sugar Hill, and These Old Bones. This collection is both a hit and a miss, with a few episodes being quite well done and featuring some great names, including Delta Burke from Designing Women, Jennifer Goodwin from Once Upon a Time, Kathleen Turner from War of the Roses, Body Heat, as well as Julian Hough from Footloose and Safe Haven, and Sarah Shahi from Person of Interest, one of our Binge Watch recommendations from 2 weeks ago. Other episodes might leave you feeling a bit flat. Nothing in this show was what can be termed as Oscar-worthy, but a few episodes boast some great stories that'll bring a tear to your eye or smile to your heart in true Hallmark fashion. to check out this week's Binge Watch. And since we were just talking about Dolly Parton and her country music, this show fits right in. Nashville. For those that love country music, this series is a great addition to your watch list. But even if you think that country music isn't for you, this series is still one you need to watch. At its core, it's a drama centered around an aging country singer and an ambitious younger rival in the Nashville music scene. But this show delivers in great scripts, acting, and of course, music. Take it from someone who is a musician and who's been in Nashville. The recording studios you see in the show are the real studios in Nashville. Same goes for the performance venues. They haven't even changed some of the names, like the Bluebird or Tin Roof. They kept it as authentic as possible for the viewer to get a real feeling of exactly what happens in music's capital city, as it's known. What's the most surprising, though, is the different types of country music that you hear, with each character portrayed by an amazing array of talent who sing their own parts, from Connie Britton from Friday Night Lights to Hayden Panettiere, best known as the indestructible cheerleader from Heroes, Sam Palladio and Claire Bowen, and of course Chris Carmack from The OC and more recently Grey's Anatomy. And let's not forget Lennon and Maisie Stella, two young kids that will blow you away with their talent. Whether it's the Shawn Mendes or Taylor Swift documentary, the Selena series, I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised by what's in store for you this week, especially if you are a music lover. Let me know what you've thought of this week's recommendations, and if there is something that we're missing that just has to be shared, let me know. Tune in next time for the ultimate holiday movie watching guide. I'm Mia V, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.